What's up, guys? Welcome back to Unlimited Reads. My name's Chris, and today I'll be wrapping up officially Horror Mayhem, the awesome reading project originally created by the Bookish Bryants, and it was a pretty good month overall. I really enjoyed watching what the other co-hosts had read for the month as well. It was fantastic. Now, the first week of Horror Mayhem for me was a bit of a hit and miss. I wanted to read about 30 Goosebumps books. I thought it was appropriate for the theme of the month, and the book length was perfect, anything under 250 pages. By the time I read 5 Goosebumps books, I had well and truly had enough. They just weren't for me. I didn't enjoy them. The writing was pretty bad, in my opinion, but just didn't want to read any more of them, so I had to make alternate plans pretty quickly. But when I voiced my opinion on one of my update videos for Horror Mayhem, one fellow booktuber who I follow, Mindy, over at Mindy's Book Journey, brought up a really valid point for me. She did mention to me that I probably didn't enjoy them because I didn't read them as a kid. And I thought she's hit the nail right on the head with that example, because you know, I weren't aware of the books. If I had read them as a kid and reread them now, it might have been a completely different reaction, and I might have had a deeper appreciation for them. And a comparison I can draw with that is I'll use the Hardy Boys as an example. I loved those books as a kid. I have read those books as an adult, and I really enjoyed them. So it was a really good point that Mindy brought up for me, and it made a lot of sense. So after reading those 5 Goosebumps books, it put me into a little bit of a reading slump, and I had to make alternate plans. And I thought, well, how do I get out of a reading slump? And ended up going with something that I could rely upon, and that was a reread of The Shining, my favourite book of all time. It was just what the doctor ordered to get myself out of a reading slump. It took me about a week to read The Shining, but I didn't mind because I didn't want to rush through it. It's a book I love. It was my 7th time reading it, and I just wanted to enjoy it and not rush through it, and absolutely loved it. It brought me out of my reading slump, and I was back in full swing again. And after that, I decided to read Strange Highways by Dean Koontz, which was just the title novella of his story collection from 1995. Absolutely loved that novella, and I did review it in a bit of detail on one of my update videos. So if you haven't caught any of the Horror Mayhem update videos, please check them out, because I do go into a little bit of detail there. But Dean Koontz's retro stuff is fantastic. He was so polished, and the story was very original. I had never read Strange Highways, and I thought it's an appropriate pick for Horror Mayhem because it was under 250 pages and was well within the realms of horror, and really enjoyed that. Now, to finish out the month, I read Dark Shore by Michael Robertson Jr., the next installment in the Lance Brody Supernatural Suspense series. Lance Brody is a character I have grown to really like. He's become very quickly one of my favourite characters of all time, and I just haven't had a chance to binge the whole lot of 7 books. I do have the 7-book omnibus edition on my Kindle, and every book just gets better and better. And I do have a more detailed review of Dark Shore coming out hopefully soon. I'm going to record that hopefully today and put it out early to mid next week. But I'm just enjoying the book so much because with every book Lance advances as a character. And the best thing about this book was, you know, the previous books Lance had to come up against the big bad, whoever that was, you know, the evil that is featured throughout the books, dealing with things on his own. And with Dark Shore, I really enjoyed it because he had some help in getting out of his predicament. So be sure to watch that one. I'll be talking in a lot more detail about it in the review video when I record it. But you know, overall it was a pretty good month. The Goosebumps books were a bit of a letdown, but I certainly made up for it in spades with what I read for the rest of the month, and had a great time with it. So yeah, I can't wait to be a part of it again. Hopefully the Bookish Bryants will be involved next year. and I will be participating again next year, because it is a very fun project to be a part of, and you know, what could be better than spending a whole month reading horror fiction. But yeah, that is it for Horror Mayhem, officially wrapped up and in the bag for another year, as we move on to June on the Range. For reading Western books throughout the month of June. I'm already well into it. I have finished my first book already for the project and absolutely loved it. I'll be talking about that on the channel in my first June on the Range update video, which will be out by the end of next week. So a lot of things to come yet on the channel, guys, because I have been a bit behind, and I'm making up for it by recording a heap of stuff today so that I can get it all up on the channel, because yeah, haven't been feeling that great, and I'm actually able to talk today, which is a real plus. So thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Offer up any feedback in the comments below. As always, I'll always respond to those. But until the next video, guys, which will not be too far away, I'll see you later.